Bitcoin, we start with 1 hour chart. Just I want to give a quick update. If you refer to my last analysis, since the price was within this move, I mentioned we're looking for the breakout of the 46,300 because we have been looking for the breakout of this resistance. 2 times the price didn't break, and since the price was within this move, I mentioned if we get any reversal with the sharp move flag, we can look for buy. This is where we could look for buy. And I mentioned with the breakout of the 46,300, the next level based on 1 hour chart for the short term, we're looking for 447780 as we can see the price tag and what there was no breakout. Okay, that's why we have been looking based on 1 hour chart. I mentioned we're looking for this one as a resistance 47780. All right, now we want to see what's the next. Anyway, we move to daily chart, and based on daily chart, first things we have been waiting for the breakout of this correction, and with the breakout of the 46,300, we are right now we're looking for breakout of 51. We want to see whether the price can break this zone or not, because we want to see the confirmation with the breakout of 41k. The only things I need to highlight here that even if you refer to my last analysis, I mentioned we are expecting to get a deeper correction before we see the continuation. That's why if we want to look for buy, we need to be quite careful. That's why we refer to this one. And I mentioned mostly we can expect to get one more deeper correction within this range before we get the continuation. That's why if we want to look for buy, we need to be quite careful. And even if we move to forward chart, if we put the desktop and relative to the previous one, if we refer to the indicators, we see we have a divergence. And even here, that's why we need to be quite careful. We are expecting to get one more correction, at least similar to what we get here in relative to this, before we get the continuation, because we want, since we have this divergence, unless we see the continuation as a really sharp move, at that time made the way we're looking at the chart will be differently. And right now, because even if you refer to my last analysis, I mentioned the possibility if we put this one in relative to this is very less, unless the price drop to 43180. Okay, and right now the only thing is we will put our line here. This is the indicative, and I don't, even if you want to look at this one as a running flat, I don't think this is the right way. That's why still we're looking for one more correction, at least similar to what we have here. And we, the reasons we since we have the divergence here, that's why the only reason I'm highlighting about all these things, if you want to look for the next trade for the long term, we need to be quite careful. Okay, it doesn't mean we cannot look for buy. Even as I mentioned, there is a possibility for continuation as a really sharp move. Then from that times made, this is the only way we can look at the chart. But the only reasons I want to highlight about this, that if we want to look for buy, we need to be quite careful. We are expecting to get the deeper correction either based on forward or daily chart, at least similar to what we have here, before we get the continuation. That's why based on 1 hour chart, we had the target, the based on 1 hour chart. The first one was 47780. As we can see the price tag, there was no breakout. If there is a breakout of this level, this is the next level 49k we looking for based on 1 hour chart, and the 51k is based on 4 hour and daily chart. And right now for those traders, they get the trade from here, at least move their stop loss to break even. From what we can see here, when we have this kind of the correction following by the sharp move, we can expect to get one more drop. That's why we need to be quite careful. We are not looking for sell even, but if we want to look for trade, we need to be quite careful. Even we extend our line here, there is, if the price give us one more drop, we are not looking for the breakout of this line again. Whatever we have here is indicative, but technically, even if we get one more drop, we don't want to see the breakout of this line before we get the continuation. That's why we need to be quite careful. Buying right now, we don't see any trade. I mean, any trade setup. Looking at this as a sharp move flag based on lower time frame, it depends on the traders. Maybe they can look for the next trade. All right, if we look at this one, we can look for the one move up, but we should know that there is a possibility, since we get this down move really sharp, there is a possibility we get one move up and then the price drop before we get the continuation. That's why for those traders, they want to look for trade from here. As long as they get into the profit, they have to move their stop loss to break even. That's when they look at this one as a short term, since we trading based on 1 hour 15 minute, but based on 1 hour chart, we don't see any trade setup unless we see some changes here. And again, we need to be quite careful. Maybe we get one more drop before we get the continuation. Still we're looking for continuation, and right now I'm waiting. I'm looking to see whether we can see the breakout of the 49k or not. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.